Hello y'all, what's up? My name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's subject is all about my college selection story, meaning how did I end up choosing the college that I am currently attending. So during this video, I will tell you the story from, starting with my crazy wild dreams of, firefighters, those little kids' dreams that you have when you're a little kid, to how I felt God calling me into ministry, to choosing the college. I will also include my 3 top criteria for me personally, which has to do a lot with my major that I'm majoring in. Some of the other things probably would be a little less important, but my 3 personal top criteria, especially if you're planning to go in as some kind of Bible student, ministry, missions, theology, that whole entire area, theology for fear. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so as a kid, I grew up in a Christian household, which means I was very much influenced with knowing about God, knowing who He was. As a kid, I liked to stand up on a stage and talk about it. I was introduced to the Donut Man. I was from 5th grade to 10th grade, in and out. I was homeschooled, so that really influenced my personal life. I did VBS, I did Awana, memorizing Bible verses, watched Christian TV shows. So yes, that's the type of childhood I lived, which I think really influenced my personal life, especially as I got older and looking back on how that really influenced the way I thought and the way I looked at the world around me. Well, as a kid, you have those aspirations, right? So one aspirations that I had was being a firefighter, which was inspired by watching the TV show called Rescue Heroes. I also enjoyed doing martial arts, so I thought about being a martial arts teacher. I was on the swim team for about 6 months, and during that time, I thought about being a swim teacher, a swim coach. I also thought about being a missionary, which lived and died when I finally realized that I could possibly be sent into the jungle of nowhere, just like Jim Elliot's wife, and her husband died, and Gladys Elwood was in China, and she was always single, and I kind of wanted to get married. So that kind of died with that. So those are kind of my aspirations and dreams. So 2 dreams that kind of hung on was STEM and wanting to go into the military. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You probably already know that, but I just wanted to clarify if you did not. So when I look at different jobs, I think of them as 2 ways. So you got the military, and then you got jobs that haven't really been created. See, in military, I see that as it's almost planned out for you. If you do these certain things, you can get into the military, and if you pass, you have a guaranteed job, pretty much. With other careers, you could get your degree, and who knows if you actually have that job, And so at that time, I wanted to do science, technology, engineering, mathematics, which I knew the military was great at, and that was kind of what I really wanted to do. But during that summer of being 15, I started to get really interested of psychology. And this ended up becoming very important in my life, looking back, because it became that bridge from that solid, definite career to the career that I'm looking into now, which almost feels like a pioneer, something that maybe has been created, but it's not like a straight directory path, unlike the military, which is pretty much if you do like JRTC, you end up becoming an E2 or E3 pay grade, or if you go into OTC in college, your college is paid for, you don't have to worry about that, and you go in as an officer, which may mean nothing to you if you don't know anything about the military, but let me just tell you, it's a grade up. It's a good position to be in. And so wanting to go into psychology was really great for me to start. It was a time where I actually started to care about other people than other than me. Like, I always been curious about why people do what they do, but I didn't really care about the person. I just cared more about their action. Now I started to care about the person, and this starts to become really important. So in August, I got saved, which you can hear about my testimony. There'll be a link for that to watch my testimony. So that was a fly in my face testimony. So I'm not going to go over that. So from the time I got saved to psychology, a lot of things happened. There was like this transition period. Previously, the year before my 10th grade, which was 9th grade, I pushed a lot of doors open that I shouldn't have. And so when 10th grade came along, those doors started to close one by one by one. But it became a good thing because it finally opened my eyes and it finally prepared my heart to listen to what God was calling me to do, the next step. So in this picture here, you can see me taking a selfie of myself, playing the guitar, which I just recently got after I got my black belt in martial arts, because that was the deal I made with my parents, that I would finish up doing martial arts before I take on anything new. And so I got my black belt in martial arts, and I got a new guitar. And so that was kind of cool. But it also opened my door of being able to play music, being able to start really expressing myself emotionally on the next level. And it became this outlet for me, and it's still an outlet to really express my emotions. During this time, this November, December, I started to move away from the JRTC program, which was good. It was tough at the time, but looking back, I see how I really needed that. I needed to step away from that, to step away from focusing so much on what the chief said, what the captain said, what the cadets said, focus on what God said. I remember I would come home so angry and so frustrated and just so tired, that I realized it wasn't good. You know, it wasn't good in my relationship with my family, and it wasn't good with my newfound relationship with God, because as I said, I just got saved in August. So I realized that how much I neglected being with God, and so I decided to step away from that activity, which I realized ended up becoming a good thing. So in essence, my 10th grade and my first semester was this transition of walking away from this life and moving into the next one. In February, down here, I got baptized, so that was kind of cool. I picked up music, I picked up running, and started to do my own workout sessions, which ended up being a whole new adventure all by itself, which I learned, which is a totally different story. But second semester of my 10th grade, I felt this call into ministry, which I made a video on that. So it's the ministry, spoken word. I put that video in the link in the description box below, so you can watch that, because I'm not going, some of it's going to overlap, but some of it has more detail on that calling. So after I felt that call, I started to talk to other people. And at that time, I also left the public school, and I really wanted to do the collegiate program where you can get your AA and graduate out of high school with your AA degree. And I really want to do that, so I took the PUT test, and I passed on the math, but did not pass on the English. And I was really disappointed, but I felt like if it was God will, He would let me pass, pretty much. You know, I studied. I could have studied harder probably, but I did study. And then I took my ACT and SAT, which I passed that. And at this time, I also started to look at different colleges. And this is where God really opened the doors. Like, I didn't have to try hard. And it was the first time in my life where I didn't have to push on a door. You know, it just was flung open for me, you know. And that was really impactful in my life, that I didn't actually have to push the door open for once. So I visited two colleges because I eliminated all the others. So here's my 3 college criteria, which was number 1, as being in ministry and being in ministry and learning about theology. It was very important for me to know their doctrinal statement of faith. What do they believe? Because if I don't first believe in their doctrine of faith, if I don't have that same belief, then I felt like I don't really want to put myself under their teaching. You know what I mean? second is, what is their opportunity for the missions and ministry aspect? You know, do they have youth? Do they have women? Do they have this? So that was also very important to me. And then the last aspect was the environment. How was the environment? And that, when I came down to the two colleges, both the two colleges passed the doctrinal statement. They passed the mission/ministry options in my mind. The last thing was the environment. And Baptist College of Florida smashed it down when it comes to the environment. It was such a family-friendly place compared to the other one, which I'm not going to mention, but you might be able to tell in the picture. But it definitely beat hands down. It literally, when I visited the other college the first day, I was like, nope, you know. But yeah, so God just really opened that door for me, and because I think I did well enough on the SAT, I was able to start college classes right in that summer of being 16 years old. So during my senior year, because I skipped a grade, so my senior year, I finished up my freshman year in college as well. And during that time, I really felt God directing my call even more specific into women's ministry. I became very interested and just really felt the call into women's ministry, and I still doubted my calling during this time, especially when I got closer to my graduation time. And I felt very tempted at times to just want to quit and just want to drop. Like, my freshman year was really tough for me. I just wanted to quit so badly. Like, I can't tell you how badly I wanted to quit at times. And just really doubted, is this really what God has called me to do? Like, I'm not really sure. What am I really doing? And at the end of it all, God really cemented my call. I feel my call into women's ministry. So after my senior year in high school, I was planning to go onto campus for my sophomore year. COVID hit, and I was just really struggling in some aspects of my personal life. And so, looking back on the last 6 months where I could have gone to college, you know, and wondering if I regret that time, I look back and say I didn't, because I think there was a lot of me that I still needed to learn about myself. Looking back, I felt like just over the past 6 months, I really have learned to grow into my own skin, to embrace being 18, I'm an adult now, and just to really embrace who I am, to look at myself and be satisfied and not always just look at myself in a negative point of view, to see it as positive, to enjoy being me, to enjoy being alive, and learning what it means to thrive and not just keep breathing, you know, and just to really embrace who I am and to embrace what God is calling me to do. And so that was just a really important time for me, and it helped me transition from being this kid to really embracing being an adult and what the future holds. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this helps you, guide you along for all you seniors or juniors who are looking into going into college, or sophomores. I was a sophomore when I did it. I think the last thing I just really want to say, something that I personally learned, just not learned, but revisited and starting to let it sink in as I read the book of James, is this: that sometimes we don't always get what we want, but God still gives us we get what we need. And we should be happy about that. We should be joyful. And I know that sounds so strange, but I'm learning to be joyful about not getting what I want. And that sounds so strange, as I said. But if it's not what we need, we should be joyful. That God's doing what's best for us. It's like a parent saying, no, don't touch the flame. The child should be joyful that the parent's telling them to not touch that burning hot flame in the fire, right? But it complains, and so do we sometimes, when we should be joyful and happy and thanking God for giving us what we need and not what we want. So that's just something I just want to say. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this YouTube channel. I hope this really helped you all. And please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, click that subscribe button, click notification, the bell button to get notification, click all so you never miss another video again. And I have a poetry website, and I think that's it. I'll see you next time, and God bless you. Bye.